The chapter begins with the police officer saying that several blocks have started moving again and that a foe has just passed through the city of Idu. Tsukuchi asks if anyone can still fight, and another cop says they've asked several for backup, but they're all busy. That's when another cop falls out of his chair and shouts the heat from Dabi's flames in Gunga. Tsukuchi tells him to explain and asks if Endeavor has been defeated. The cop says that he hasn't, but the results of their analysis show that Dabi's about to explode. Since he got up to continue fighting, he has been concentrating the heat inside his own body. If he continues like this, he'll only last for about 10 more minutes, and then all that energy will be released, destroying his body and causing a heat explosion within area of 5 kilometers. Tsukuchi despairs, and La Brava warns him that some of the underground shelters are now close to Gunga. The civilians are in Dabi's blast radius. Then we see that the block where the Todoroki family is keeps collapsing, and Gunhead tells them to open the emergency exit. Another cop warns that a foe is even faster and is now close enough to use his Gu teleport quirk. Tsukuchi asks once again for reinforcements, but someone confirms that no heroes will arrive in time. It is then that a voice calls his name over the communicator. Cut to Kamino, and Ida asks Shoto how tired he is from using phosphor, but he says he's fine. He can't stop while there's a chance if he'll make it to where Deku is. But Ida says his mind must be a mess right now, because of the whole Dabi situation. Shoto replies saying that he has to fulfill his duty, and Ida, devastated by the fact that someone as kind as his friend, who guided him back to the right path, has to deal with all this stuff. The two of them are crying. That's when a voice says it finally connected over the communicator. It's All Might's voice. He is happy to hear that they're okay and says that he doesn't have much time, and tells them to hurry to Gunga as fast as possible. Dabi will explode soon and the evacuation blocks have stopped moving. Endeavor is fighting him, but he'll not be able to stop the explosion with his quirk. All Might says that he is sure that Ida will be able to run there, and begins a short speech dedicated to Shoto. Body and mind are two different things, and Shoto knows this better than anyone else. Shoto says he'd rather go stop a foe, but then tells him not to worry about what he has to do now is to stop Toya and reassure everyone. The only quirks that can save Gunga are engine and half cold half hot. Shoto isn't sure if that's possible because Ida's engines have overheated, but he says the rain lowered its temperature. His legs are for guiding lost children, and this is what he will do with Shoto. Ida puts Shadow on his back and tells him to hold on tight. Stain watches and mutters to himself that they're giving their all for the sake of other people. What follows is a spread of the two of them flying through the air, and with Ida's suit power and narration then begins saying that Hawk's report said that Yungafo is stronger and more cruel. We then see Hawks holding Tokoyami, Tsukuchi yelling idiot, and All Might getting out of his car, saying that this has always been his battle as a foe flies closer. And says that this brings back memories of their past fights, and wonders if all this newfound hatred is Shigaraki's influence. Tsukuchi tells him to flee because he's quirkless, and All Might smiles, remembering when Deku asked if he could be a hero even without a quirk. The last double page shows All for One smiling as All Might's briefcase and car start to disassemble, forming some kind of robotic armor around his arm. He says that he cannot ignore the villain in front of him, and lets out his iconic line. Stun Grenade!